right, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest game of the weekend. No, it's not Chelsea Southampton. Forget about that. Who cares about Chelsea Southampton, ladies and gentlemen? It's about Liverpool, Manchester City versus Liverpool. It is most likely the title decider. Ishan and I, along with Indico, we're going to try and build up to this match. Let's go.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Just to let everyone know, look, we don't know what has happened with Chelsea Southampton as yet because this is actually getting recorded before that. So, to all the Chelsea fans, hopefully we've won by the time this is released. If not, please forgive all of us for being so happy. It is what it is. Obviously, we'll talk about Southampton and Chelsea some other time. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, Manchester City versus Liverpool, the biggest game of the weekend, biggest game of the season, I would have to say. And not just the Premier League fans, it's fans across many other leagues who are so focused on this particular match. Let's introduce our guest, Indy Cop. How you doing?
I'm very well, and how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's Friday night. It's the weekend. It's Ramadan, so I can't really party. But it is what it is. It's the weekend. You got to enjoy it. You must be buzzing though. Big match coming up this weekend. Your team, Liverpool, facing Manchester City. I mean, before I introduce Ishan, and look, Ishan doesn't need any introduction, ladies and gentlemen, in this channel. This is a bad boy of this channel. You know that. But before we get to Ishan, Indicop, I mean, what a remarkable comeback. You guys were like 14, 16 points behind Man City and now a point away and possibly could be the title decider. I mean, how are you feeling about this match moving into it?
I'm so excited. I'm seriously very, very excited, but at the same time, I'm nervous. So it's very ambivalent feelings right now. But you know what? This is the better position to be in rather than not being in contention for any other trophy out there. So the
Oh,
good
thanks.
thing is that
Thanks
we are going
for
to
saying that. You're just having a dig at Chelsea there.
no, I just meant that it's better to be in this position than
Absolutely.
not being in that, right? Because Liverpool does not and has not enjoyed that position for very long. Now that we are there, we are in the contention of winning trophies, or maybe even if we don't win it, we are not letting Man City just go ahead
Because
with it.
last season was tough. Last season was tough for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Van Dijk got injured, and there was
Yeah.
not just Van Dijk, but every centre back out there had some issue. It felt like somebody did something in that position that everybody who used to come there used to get injured. Otherwise, and you know what? It just there is a narrative that Van Dijk wasn't there and we lost the season, but it's not that. You have to understand there were no centre backs available, and at the end, when there was no option at all, we bought. We did pressure signing in January, and that was Nat Phillips.
Kabak,
We
Kabak, the
Kabak.
Norwich guy, was playing for
Ben
you
Davis and
guys.
Kabak, absolutely. So
That's
we had
mad.
Ozan Kabak and Ben Davis. So Ben Davis is not there now. He's on
Yeah.
loan, and we had to sell Kabak. Even though Kabak was finding his footing in the game, he was finding that form to be a Liverpool player, but then
Yeah.
he got injured at a very, very wrong time. But then at the end, we had to rely on the players that we already had, and that was Nat Phillips and Reece Williams. And they did a great job just to protect us and throw us into this Champions League. It just, push us there. And that was brilliant by
What
what
was
they
it, like
did.
10, 11 games winning streak right at the end? It was something
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
something mad.
see that happened also, and just imagine Ellison Becker got the goal for us, and we were in that
Yeah.
situation, and that was it. And to be honest, I didn't see that goal because I was too frustrated to see that, to sit till the end, to
Yeah.
expect and to have hope that we are going to make it. Because I remember I switched off the match at 89th minute. I was like,
Oh my
damn it, I'm not
God.
watching it. And seriously, I was like, I'm not doing it. This is just too much and I can't bear it. Because you know what? Sometimes it happens that you can't take a match like that. And
Yeah.
I just went to, I said, no, I'm not doing it and all. And then my friends calling me, did you see that? Did you see that? I'm like,
Oh
what?
my
They're like,
God. Never
so they're
ever
like,
do that again. Never ever do that again because these sort
absolutely.
of things
Because
can happen.
absolutely. And Liverpool has done that so many times, be it with Origi or be it with, anybody out there.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
actually, I saw that, there is a corner and Ellison is going there. I said, okay, so what can happen now? And I was like, just, and I just didn't see that exact moment, and I'm like, seriously, something happened. So yeah, we just reached in the UCL in the top 4 position, and
Mm,
now wherever we are, I didn't expect that. If you have asked me in the starting of the season that, will you be in such position, and I would have been like, not at all. It's not
mm.
possible that Liverpool can be in the contention of all 4 trophies. And
Yeah.
it's really really
Wow.
good. It's absolutely necessary that we do that this time, and there's
Mm.
confidence amongst the players, and there is a depth in squad, and I think this is the best position to be in. I'm quite excited about it.
Nah, brilliantly well said. Ishan, my boy. I mean, as you can see, IndieCop is very, very excited about this whole situation, and rightly so. They're in 4 trophies contention. They've beaten us for Carabao Cup. Oh man, I hate that. I hate that. But Ishan, I mean, for me, these two are probably 2 of the finest team in Europe. Forget about Premier League. I think in Europe, they're the 2 of the finest team. How are you feeling? I mean, us being Chelsea fans, looking at this particular fixture, 2 big teams, like both the teams are going to be toe to toe. It's not going to be one park the bus, the other going to try and attack. Both these teams are going to clash, and I think that's the exciting part. How are you looking at this particular fixture moving into it?
Now, first of all, welcome to Nitika. Warm welcome to the channel, to the other side of the coin. First of all, and second of all, yeah, going to the question, I think so. Uh, Listen, I'm going to quote Jamie Carragher's statement that he made lately. That he
Oh,
said
it's
that
a controversial one. It's a controversial one.
this too, yeah, it is, but it is. But somewhat, I do agree with it because
Yeah.
these 2 teams currently are the best 2 teams in the league. But not just the league. You look at the whole European competition. These 2 teams might go down as the best 2 teams you'd like to see in the finals of this year's Champions League. And then this might be true. Nobody can nobody can counter that. Definitely, these 2 teams are the next game that they're going to play. Definitely, I believe it's going to be the biggest game of this year's Premier League. And yes, it's like whoever loses focus for a bit of a second, just loses the
Gone.
title.
Gone.
It's
Yeah.
it's yeah, we're in that state. And it's quite astonishing how Liverpool press the accelerator, and now they're in just 1 point behind Man City, who at one point of time were cruising easily towards the Premier League
Yeah.
title.
Like
But
14, 16 points in front. I thought it was finished. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, 100%. And the other thing is, when you compare these 2 teams to the teams below them, especially Chelsea, who are at third now, and then you look at the standards of both these teams and the other teams, I think
They're
so.
looking down. They're like,
The
come on,
margin
guys.
is yeah, exactly right. The margin is gargantuan, and I'm not just stating the Premier League points when I'm talking about the margin, but the way they play. The mannerism. Definitely, we know that these 2 teams are also, being managed by 2 of the best managers in world football currently. But then still, I mean, the levels are way above, and it'll be difficult for the other Premier League teams to catch them in a long term basis. Yes, one matches here and there, they might just be able to grab few points, be it from Man City or from Liverpool. But then when it comes to long term, I think so. Man City and Liverpool are on some different level, man. They are the benchmark now.
100%. Indicop, let's get into the nitty gritty of things. First thing that I want to ask you, the winner of this particular match, favorites to win the league? What's your thoughts?
Obviously it's Manchester City who is the favorites to win the league, because they have done it so many times, and it's just a piece of work for them. They can do it. It's like they have the confidence in it. But if you ask me Champions League, I'll say it otherwise, because I think that when you have not done one thing for so long and you are lodging for that thing, that I want that. But that is the one thing where you have to show your everything, because that's what we did when we won the Premier League after 30 years. And I
Yeah.
remember I thought that something is going to happen and we're going to make it, because just imagine the mindset of a fan who is waiting for that trophy for so very long, that I thought something is going to happen at the end and we're going to get it. Maybe it was the COVID time and they were talking about canceling the season, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man.
I was praying. I was like, cancel it. Cancel, please.
Oh man. And I was like, shit, what is this happening? We did everything. Now what is it like? Who has like put this curse on us? So uh, when we are talking about Premier League, it's definitely Man City who's the clear favorite, who will go ahead and can win it, because yes, they have like they had 13-point gap, like you both rightly
Yeah.
mentioned. But just imagine that if we lose this one, there'll be a 4-point gap. And when we're talking about
Mm,
the rest of the fixtures that we have, they're actually a little busy, a little tough for Liverpool.
mm,
So we have to play Man United, we have to play Aston Villa, means even they have to play Aston Villa. But
mm.
still, when it comes to the narrative of
You're going to have to hope if they win, they drop 2 games, and that's very difficult for
absolutely.
City to drop 2 games.
Exactly. And you know what? If now that they get a 4-point lead, I don't think they're going to bottle it again. And I'm not
Yeah,
even calling it bottling, because even now they have a 1-point lead, and that 1-point lead is enough for them to win the
yeah.
trophy. You know,
Oh,
so
and we
that's why
know 1 point was enough a few
oh
seasons ago.
oh oh my
And was it,
god,
what was it,
means
98, 97? You guys didn't
it
win
was
with
the
97.
yeah, we didn't win with that 1-point margin. And I'm like,
Yeah,
man, means we could have done that. And even last season, when we won it last season, that point of time, we could have easily crossed that 100-point mark, easily
yeah.
done that. But it's just that we won the trophies, means we knew that we have won it before so many fixtures, that we lost focus. And that's genuine. Come on, you won
Mm-hmm.
something that you have not done it for so long, so players had to lose focus and not just go ahead and cross that 100-point mark. So that's fine, that's forgivable.
Now, fair enough. Ishan, IndyCop has mentioned something very interesting here, and this is what we want to touch on. Both of these teams also have Champions League fixtures to worry about next week. And this is crazy. Champions League is back to back. Now, IndyCop has mentioned Man City, they really want the Champions League. Pep Guardiola, I think all he can ever picture in his head is Champions League, Champions League. Like this guy, one thing that is like a black mark on his name is that he hasn't won another Champions League since Barcelona. And he's managed some top teams like Bayern Munich and Man City as well. Liverpool on the other side, they're probably thinking, God damn it, if there wasn't Man City in this particular era, we would be cleaning up. We would be winning the league, we would be winning the Champions League, we would win it all. So they're like cursing Man City that, why did you have to be around our time? Why? Why? We're flying. I mean, Ishan, do you think that may have a Liverpool edge, that Liverpool might be thinking, I want the Premier League a lot more? And I don't know, we'll ask IndyCop this down the track, but how are you looking at it? Do you think Liverpool wants the league a lot more and maybe Man City wants the Champions League a lot more, and that could potentially take their mind away from the league game? Or do you think, nah, this is Man City, they're going to go for it?
I think so. Theoretically speaking, both the teams would aim for both. To be very, very honest, because I don't think so. Any team, if you'd go and ask any team, maybe ask Nitika as well here, if you'd won a Champions League or Premier League,
She wants all
what
four.
would you choose?
She wants four.
I mean,
She wants a quadruple.
right? Everybody would say that theoretically, but then yes, the fact that there has to be a slight bit of focus on one competition more, and that's where maybe you're gonna strategically prioritize more. Maybe just the way you said, Man City might be prioritizing UCL more at this point of time comparatively to the Premier League. And similarly, Liverpool might know the fact that Man City might be prioritizing Premier League, so I need to focus on, UCL. So Liverpool needs to
And
focus
Liverpool
on
has
Premier League.
beaten Benfica 3-1. So they've got a bit of an
Exactly.
advantage, whereas City has to go
Yes.
away from home. So against
And
Atletico Madrid.
comparatively, if you look at the fixtures of UCL, Liverpool's got an easier fixture. Not just this against Benfica, but also upcoming fixtures as well. You see the way Villarreal just beat Bayern Munich. Liverpool might be
Yeah.
licking
Could be
the
a
tongue.
bit of an
You know what
upset
I mean?
there. Yeah.
Exactly. But then coming to the Premier League point, I think so. Yeah, this is the perfect match where Liverpool can just go out there and then play like a finale. You know what I mean? Give everything they can. And maybe once, even if Man City go behind Liverpool in Premier League, they might be like, all right, fine, listen, our priority might be the UCL. So it's fine if we go second in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean, right? Because we know the fact that Pep has won 4 times with Man City.
Yeah.
And three times or 4 times? I don't even remember.
Four
I
out of
think
five.
four
Four
ti-
out of five.
yeah,
4
yeah.
times, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Four
listen,
in the last 5. I think one of them was Liverpool. Am I right? Yeah, 4 in the last
We
5 or
won
3
it
in the
one times. He came in 2016, right? He came
Yeah.
in or
We
20.
won
He
that.
came in,
Chelsea won the 2016
Yeah,
under
yeah,
Antonio
and then
Conte.
it was all Man City, and then it was
yeah. I think
Liverpool
so.
that won it once.
Four
Yeah.
to Man
So
City and one to Liverpool.
yep.
Yeah, so I think so. For Pep, it would be like, listen, I've won this freaking 4 times. I need a UCL now, and it's big time. On the other hand, Liverpool Klopp might be like, I've won everything. He's won the UCL, he's won the Premier League, but then there is a narrative to it. Premier League, he's not won in front of his home crowd, the
Yeah.
Anfield crowd
Yeah.
that we talk about. It was washed away due to COVID. There was, the bubble was created. No fans were entered in the stadium. This time around, it's a different whole ball game. You'll have that Anfield crowd jumping in and around if they go on and win the Premier League. So yeah, I think so. Liverpool definitely would be prioritizing more on the Premier League, whereas Man City, I think so, it'll be great for them, and I think so. It's high time for them to win the Champions League.
IndyCop, if I was to ask you, you can only choose one trophy between Champions League or the
I
Premier
knew this
League.
question was coming. I knew this question was coming.
What are you choosing, and what are you thinking predominantly the Liverpool fans would be choosing if it was just a one? If God was to say, IndyCop, only one, I can confirm you just one. Don't be greedy. I can't give you two, just one. What's it gonna be?
Oh man, I want to be that annoying kid who says that, they say that there is one wish, then they wish for that I want 100 more wishes. I want to be that annoying kid out there.
Then
But then
your
if it
your
is
wish
about
is, can I get multiple wishes?
absolutely, just give it to me and I'll just write it down, whatever it is that I need. But I'll just tell you there are two perspectives on this. So if you're asking for just one trophy, I'll just give you two perspectives on this. So at one point of time I feel, come on, we need the Premier League more. And that's because if we win it again, at least there will be not that narrative set again, that you're going to win it after 30 years, and if Klopp leaves and
Mm,
again you are going to like win it then. It's just that I want to break that curse that we can do it. Okay, not like every other year, but after 3-4 years, fine, we can be in the contention of winning it again.
yeah.
And I want to feel that there is no negativity in it, that we just won it once and then again waiting for the period of time and then not
Yeah.
doing it again. There is that thought as well, but then there is another narrative to it, and that is that Liverpool has the dominance in UCL when it comes to
Yeah.
English teams.
Yep.
So when we talk about that superiority, I like to have that at least somewhere, that yes, we have more number of trophies, and Chelsea has won it two times now, and
Twice.
it
Yeah.
is something that, yeah, exactly, and that is something that they are catching up as well, and there are
Oh, we got a long way to catch up on you guys. You guys won like what, five?
six, six, six.
Six. Oh my god. You need two.
Let's
You
talk
need
about
two
six.
hands. You need two hands to show.
Forget it, miss. Forget it, miss. That's
Forget
a
it, man.
problem.
Forget it.
So it's six, so that's why sometimes I feel that if you have the UCL dominance, that is another sort of respect again
Yeah.
when you talk about that. So that's why there are two narratives. And if you ask me, because obviously there's always somebody or the other who will say I want everything like me, but then if I have to pick one, I don't know why I get tilted towards Premier League. I don't know, it's just that I get tilted towards that. If you are asking me to pick one here, only that's why, that I'm just tilted towards Premier League, because I want to do it again and I want to do it with Klopp.
You don't want to be seventh time European champion. Seventh
You
time.
you gave me a very tough, decision. So I had to pick one, and if that is the case, then I don't know. That is what I feel.
I completely understand you, because the league is your bread and butter. Like, that's over 38 games. That's a hard slog. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is a proper champion. But for me, I don't know, man. Champions League, not like I broke down. I cried last year when we won. Like, I was in the stream and I was crying on my stream, because for me, those are unbelievable moments in life. You know what I mean? Like, we can grow
Can I
old
just
and
say that I feel confident that अरे कोई नहीं, we'll win it after 2-3 years again. We'll win the UCL.
so
I don't know. There's
confident
there's
these
that
guys.
confidence. I'm so sorry to put it that way, but I'm just confident about that trophy, that we'll do it after 3-4 years, because we can do that. But when it
Your
comes to
team
Premier
is
League, I want
good.
to be that confident.
Yeah,
It's
your
just
team
that.
is
That is why
good.
I feel.
No,
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 Yeah,
I think so. I
maybe
can
that's why I'm
understand
confident.
that. I think so. I understand that where Nitika is coming from, because it's a 38 game streak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you talk about Liverpool being in the Champions League, Liverpool, like I said, with Man City, they are two of the best teams in the world now. And
Mm.
automatically, when you talk about these two teams, you already envision them in the last four, in
Semi-final,
the final four,
semi-final,
in the
minimum
semi-finals, right?
semi-final. Yeah.
And once you talk about semi-finals, anything goes. I mean, there's a high probability to win the Champions League,
Mm.
right? But when you talk about Premier League, when you say for Liverpool that yes, next year will definitely be in the semi-finals, that means your chances there to win it, right? But when you talk about the Premier League, you look at the whole 38 game streak and you somewhat scratch your head and say, can we repeat the same thing that we did in the last season? Probably
Yeah.
not. Things are going to
Because people
change,
people are
new
going to
ups
think,
and
oh, that was a
downs.
fluke. That was a fluke one time only. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No.
I think so. I understand that conquering a Premier League is different to what conquering a Champions League is, and the happiness that you get to win a Premier League, you might not be confident enough to say the same thing next year. But then Champions League, if you're the best teams in the world, you might definitely come up and say that definitely yes, finals or the semi-finals, I'll be there. And if that's the scenario, I can definitely win it. So that's the difference
No.
here.
100% right. IndyCop. Next thing that I want to really talk about, and this is what Carragher actually said in post or just before the press conference, I believe, and it was something that Jurgen Klopp was asked as well. Jurgen Klopp, when he was asked this particular question, they were saying the journalists were saying to Jurgen Klopp that apparently, Liverpool and Man City, it's one of the greatest rivalries that's brewing in the modern era. And Jurgen Klopp was asking, who said that? And then the journalist said, Carragher. He's like, yep. Then it's right. Then it's right. But I want to ask you, like, for me as well, growing up, like I started following Chelsea probably early 2000s. That's when I started getting into it. And at that stage, it was really Arsenal and Man United centric. And then obviously Roman came in to disrupt that, and he did. And all of a sudden, Arsenal fell behind, and it was Man United and Chelsea. That was the rivalry, and that was a fierce rivalry as well. Similarly, Arsenal Man United was a fierce rival as well, early sort of 2000, the Invincibles for the Arsenal. But I have to say, over the last probably 5 seasons at least, it's really been Liverpool Man City, and it's a very exciting rivalry. Like some of the matches are highly entertaining, high quality players from both sides, top managers from both sides. Both teams play aggressive attacking football. I can't think of even the El Clasico, probably in the last few seasons, it hasn't been the same. I feel like it hasn't been the same. Maybe it will be now with Xavi back into Barcelona. It could just reignite that El Clasico again. I thoroughly enjoyed the 4-0 bashing that they gave Real Madrid not that long ago. But from your perspective in the Cup, do you think this is probably in the modern era the greatest rivalry that's happening?
I absolutely agree to that. And you know what? This is the beauty of it, that two teams who are at the top, they, and for some time now, it's not like you have a one
Yeah.
season, a really, really good season, because Leicester City did that. And we are not
Yeah.
talking about Leicester in this topic because that was bloody brilliant what they did. But just being in that top position, if being there, I think that is something that just. It just happens that there's a sense of rivalry in it. So what happens is, like, I'll talk about something very different here, which is not related to league, and that is Atletico Madrid and Liverpool.
Mm.
We have faced them so many times, and
Yeah.
it becomes like it's a problem between Simeone and Klopp, just because there's such a narrative set, because we have faced each other so many times. So it just happens that if you're playing a team, a very, very good team who is winning trophies, and then there is another team who wants to win trophies, and they're giving them a lot of pain in the ass, as per said by Pep, that they're a pain in the ass. And if that is something is happening, and I think that becomes a rivalry, and I absolutely agree with that. If there is one fixture that I don't think that anybody is going to miss, is Man City and Liverpool. That is one fixture that
Everyone's
nobody is
watching
going.
it. Everyone is watching it.
And I think one of the main reason is Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola. I think one of
Yeah.
the main reasons is that too, because they both. It's just something, a fluke of a thing keeps happening between both of them. Either they're in Bundesliga or now they're in Premier League, and they just take the team with them, and it's always that one or second position they're competing for, and that's why it gets so exciting to see that. Plus, the kind of football that they make us watch, that's
Mm.
amazing. That's entertaining. That's pure Bollywood movie I'll talk about, which is going to like
Just
cross
need
100
some
crores.
songs and some, item song just around the corner, and then it's set. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, because that's what it is. It's just such a good football that you're going to watch, you're going to witness, and some brilliant moments in the game. Be it
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva, cutting through the defense of Liverpool, or be it Mohamed Salah, just like torturing the defenders out there, and that's what he did. That second goal that he got against
Oh,
Man
that
City.
was the first time you guys played this season where Mo Salah went through like
Yes,
four or
yes,
five
yes.
players. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then he repeated that again against Watford. Means, the commentator was, can he do
Mm-hmm.
that again? Can he do that? And he did that. Means, though I would love to see those kind of moments, but it's just that you witness such things on the pitch and you love to see that. And that's why I feel that, yes, it has become that rivalry, even though that this season I had a lot of hope. If I was doing a prediction, that I thought that maybe it's going to be Chelsea, because Chelsea, what Tuchel did with Chelsea, just coming there and making them win the Champions League, which by the way I thought was a honeymoon period, which is going to end very soon, but it just didn't happen that way, and he just
Mm-hmm.
took them along. I thought that no, it's not possible Chelsea can win the Champions League, and especially when you know that Man City is the clear favorite. So I thought that maybe this time Chelsea will be in that position where there is a new rivalry when it comes to Chelsea and Man City. To be honest, I was there because I didn't expect my team to do so well, even though I wanted. You can call me a negative fan out here, but I just didn't have that hope which Klopp gave me eventually, and I think he did give that hope to so many people.
No, 100%. Ishan, I mean, how do you look at this particular? I remember, I'm not sure if you watched this. Was it a Netflix special or was it Amazon special? I think it was Amazon special.
Yeah, all or nothing. Yeah, I watched that.
All or
All or
nothing
nothing.
for the Man City one. I don't know. Have you guys watched that? I watched the Man City one,
Yeah, I watched it.
and
I watched the Tottenham one.
oh
Oh,
yeah, I watched the Tottenham one as well. That was
that was a
that was
Jose
a comedy.
Mourinho special.
That
Yeah.
was a comedy.
Yeah.
Man City one I watched, and honestly, it was such a good insight. But the one thing, Ishan, that stuck out for me was Pep Guardiola. Every time he faced Liverpool, the man was nervous. The man was like talking to his assistant managers, and I remember in that video he was like, "I'm really worried about their front three. I'm really worried about their front three. Their front three is mobile. It's action packed. They're direct. They're fast. They're technically very strong." Um, do you feel both the managers, they look forward to this channel because this particular this channel, I'm talking about this channel, they look forward to this particular meetup every season, that they know the rest of the world is looking at them, and they also thrive in this situation as well? Do you feel they just enjoy this particular matchup between each other?
Oh yeah, it is. I think so. It's a big occasion, and now this has just highlighted more in front of the world, due to the situation that both these teams are in, especially in the Premier League table. But when you specifically talk about Man City, I think so. Pep Guardiola, he's admitted in the open world that he overthinks in UCL games, but I don't think so. It's just UCL games, but let's be honest. In every big game, he might sort of overthink, and I think so. The next game against Liverpool, there's a huge chance that this guy overthinks and somewhat bundles things.
You heard what he said in the last press conference, right? He said, "Yeah, I am going to
Yeah.
overthink because I'm stupid like that. I may play with 12 players." I'm like, what?
Yeah, that I don't know. Maybe the 12 players, him himself, he might just run down in the pitch and start kicking balls. I never know. But the
Crazy.
thing is, it's mad, and it'll be. And another point is it'll be interesting to see how both these managers bring their tactics in front, and put it in the table. It'll be interesting to see. Definitely, we know the fact that how Pep Guardiola reacts to these big games where he eventually overreacts and try to do stuffs which are not normal, and sometimes it works. Sometimes they are good. Sometimes they are shit. But then it works, sometimes. But then it's
I
quite
must say though,
interesting.
Ishan, this season he hasn't really overthought any. Like he's really tried to keep
Yeah.
it more straightforward. I feel like.
Yeah, yeah. I think so. With Klopp, it's just a sort of a no simple game, but then the level is very high. Each and every player knows that you have to give your 100%. but the tactics are going to be the same. And it's that same sort of consistency in the tactics is what made Liverpool great. And you would see, it doesn't matter who the opponent is, they're gonna gegenpress the hell out of those opponents every single game.
Counter
That's
press,
the
counter
tactics,
press, counter press. It's just
right?
lose the ball, win it back. Lose the ball, win it back. They're just it's gonna be a
Yeah,
dogfight.
exactly. And attack to the limit of infinity. The relentless attacking. That's what Jurgen Klopp is all about. And the best part is he knows that doesn't matter who the opponent is, his tactics is gotta be this head on straight. He might not need to shuffle his cards and gamble things out, but then this sort of occasion is big enough, and he knows who are the big players to win him big games. And the best part is both the teams have their backup. Even if their frontline players
Yeah.
are not playing, there are backup in the bench, for both the teams. This is where it gets interesting, and I think so it's going to be a crunch contest, man.
No, 100%, man. This is going to be a magnificent matchup. Indico, before we do the combined 11, where we're going to talk about the players a little bit more, who's going to be a big threat, so on and so forth. The combined 11, we're going to go with, I suppose, players that have had the better season so far. So the combined 11 is not going to be through historic, events and whatnot, how historically they've been doing well. It's more this season who's been playing well. So we'll talk about that. But before we do that, I do need to ask you one question, which is so hot on everyone's mouth at the moment. Mohamed Salah, is he staying at Liverpool or is he moving? This is huge. Every club out there is hoping they can get a piece of this guy. I think PSG, because I don't know, you being a Liverpool fan, you'll know a lot more. I'm not sure. Is he asking for more money, which he probably deserves it? I mean, he's one of your best players, if not this best player. And I'm not sure whether Liverpool, they're willing to break the wage structure to the limit where anything you want. I don't think Liverpool operates that way. I mean, what's going on? What's going on with Mohamed Salah?
See, it's like there's a thought, and that is Liverpool. Liverpool wants Mohamed Salah and they love Mohamed Salah, and Mohamed Salah loves Liverpool. He wants to stay in Liverpool. So the picture looks very clear that he should stay in Liverpool then, right? Because they both
Yeah.
want each other. It's so simple. But still there are problems at the back end. You can say that there's a conflict with Mo Salah's agent, because he just
Yeah.
keeps tweeting something and then it just becomes very big.
Ah.
And then maybe whatever Klopp says then, and obviously these things are going to have an impact on Mohamed Salah's game, because you know what, you can say that when you're on the pitch you're just focusing on the game, but it just doesn't work that way. It's going to affect your game as well. And whatever Mohamed Salah has asked for, he clearly deserves that. And it's not just us as Liverpool fans saying it, it's I think almost everyone in the world saying it, be it Grealish, be it Wenger. I mean almost everyone has turned up and said about this thing, that just give the man his money, things like that. But you have to understand one more thing, that like you said, Miss, that Liverpool does not work that
Yeah.
way. There's a proper structure, and we move it along, we move that way. And I think any player that joins Liverpool, they know that beforehand, that this is what they're going to get, this is how they
And I
operate.
think that's been your pillar of success as well, staying within the realms financially.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I think Jurgen Klopp is one of the man who has done this. I don't know if it is going to be feasible or not later in the club, because if you're talking about modern football, if other clubs are spending money and Jurgen Klopp does not, and I won't say the club spending money is not okay, because if that is what the modern football is becoming now, you need to move on with it. It's the same thing that in the starting when Facebook came, I thought I'm never going to join this shit. What is this? I'm going to call people up. But then, see, everybody's a part of social media now. Things happen that way. And, we need to move on with it. And either the things change. And by that, I mean so many clubs, so many different things happening. You see what has happened with Newcastle United. Yes, now we are not talking about them being in contention of the trophies, but later on they will be. And there'll
Yeah,
be a
we
new
will be.
narrative. There'll be a new
Yeah.
rivalry. And whoever is spending money, that'll be the rivalry. And then once in a blue moon you will see some of the other team just having that mentality and getting the trophy, and that will happen very very rarely. And it just puts a lot of pressure on any manager to handle any Premier League team. It's not easy. because there is a lot to lose and there is a lot to focus on. So that is why whatever Mohamed Salah is asking is genuinely right. But if you're talking about the weight structure, I understand what they're doing, why they're doing, because just see, Jurgen Klopp just now said in an interview that, hey, we are not having Haaland. So, he has put cross to every news out there who wants to sell newspaper by saying that Haaland is coming to Liverpool, or the links of that happening. He just said it, are you crazy? That amount of money means we don't have it. It's as simple as that. We can't pay
Yeah.
that much. But that is something that even Mohamed Salah knew before coming to Liverpool, that this is what the structure is, and
Yeah.
every player out there knows that. And it's not just that, what and obviously I want Mohamed Salah to stay, but then either FSG has to change, or we need to get some new owners. But I will not even neglect the part that what FSG has done for Liverpool. Yes,
It's
they
been
have spent a
brilliant.
little money. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, they have spent little money that we can't see, for front pay. But then at the back, our academy is doing very well,
Yeah.
and that is something that they have done. They are, renovating the stands and everything, and the mentality of the club. They got Jurgen Klopp. It's as simple as that. They got Jurgen Klopp, and he has taken us where we are right now. So I think both the parties need to compromise, and Salah has said that ever since he returned from World Cup qualifiers and as well as AFCON, the welcome that he received, the love he received from Liverpool, and he wants to stay. He wants to stay with the club, even though I think there was some, I don't know, some big politician who told Mohamed Salah that you should like leave the club and look somewhere else, after he lost the World Cup qualifiers, some big club. And also Mohamed Salah knew that he just wanted to stay with Liverpool, and he's ready to negotiate. And there is negotiations going on since very very long, and we want that to end so that he can focus on the game. As much
Yeah.
as we say, that doesn't happen, and we see the performance impacting the game as well.
Yeah, it's impacted his performance lately, but for me, he's still a superstar. But I mean, the stats speak for itself. The season in, season out, 20 goals plus, assists as
it
well, racks it
started
up.
with it started with him being called as one season wonder, and then
I called him a
what.
one season wonder, and then now he's a 5 season wonder.
Yeah, it just happens that way, and he has been delivering for the club, because he's that clutch player that at the injury time, if there is somebody and your team is
Yeah.
struggling, he will keep trying till the end. Call him selfish, we need selfishness in the team, when that he will do anything to get that goal for you. He
I
will
know
put
he will do
anybody in.
anything. He will even dive sometimes. I hate when he dives too much.
But then that is something that everybody does, that comes with the game now. It's like, there is, I feel that it's just a joke, but I feel that there is another training going on for the players, that how to dive, and how to go for that,
Hey,
because
take
sometimes.
advantage of it, right? If you get clipped, take advantage of it. I do want to say one thing though. I love the way you guys recruit. I think you guys are setting yourself up for life after Salah as well, like with Luis Diaz, Diego Jota. You guys are purchasing some
Simicus.
unbelievable. Simicus as well, very good one as well. You guys are purchasing very good, very, very good. You're making us look like rubbish. Like, look at what we're doing. Lukaku, 100
Lukaku.
million. And he's in the bench. Sometimes we don't even want him in the squad. Do you know what I mean? Like Ishan doesn't even think he's a Chelsea player. Timo Werner, another one, and the list goes on. So look, obviously you want Salah to stay, but I don't think if Salah was to move on, let's say, I think Jurgen Klopp is such a good manager. There'll be another superstar that's just around the corner. And I feel like Luis Diaz is going to be the next big thing as well. All right, let's get into this. This is going to be very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. The combined 11. We'll start with Ishan. Ishan, let's start from the goalkeeper position between Alisson and Edison. What's your choice and why?
And I want to ask you why am I given the hardest choice here? Why?
I think all of these will be fairly tough. Maybe one or two could be straightforward.
Yeah, no,
I think a lot of
100%,
them
I
will
do
be very
agree.
difficult.
I do agree, man. Both these Brazilian giants, and both of them are great goalkeepers, by the way. But I'll have to go with a personal choice here, and just because the way Man City plays from the back, the ball playing ability of Edison is better than Alisson, I would go with Edison. But then, yeah, both of these keepers are magnificent.
Ishan's going with Edison, Indy Cup. Who are you going for? I mean, are you going to be your boy Allison or Edison? Give me your thought process as well. Why you would choose whoever you want to choose?
I'm definitely going for Ellison Becker here because see, I'll
Surprise,
tell you
surprise! I
something.
didn't see that coming.
No, I'll tell you, I know how good Edison is. I'm not taking anything away from him because that's why he's playing in a team like Man City. Because if need be, they can buy anybody who's top class. If he's playing
Yeah,
for Man City, means he is top class. But why I will say Ellison is because you will see the way we play highline, and there have been number of times that we have been put in a position where there are so many players one on one with the keeper, and he
yeah,
has saved us because
yeah.
that's way our team works, and I'm yet to see a situation where Edison has made Man City win the matches. The players like Kevin De Bruyne win it for him. Bernardo Silva will
Mm,
win it for him. Maybe Mahrez will win it for him. Maybe Ruben Diaz and the partnership of that will win it for him. And I'm not saying Edison
true.
can't do that, but I'm just saying that when it comes to teams who have a little bit, like, you can say that we don't have such good bench strength if we compare it to Man City, so we need to rely on our keepers as well. And there,
Mm,
just on Ellison, we have won the matches. And if you're comparing about the stats, both have, I think, same number of clean sheets and both have conceded almost same number of goals. Ellison has an assist as well, and I know the way he links up with Mohamed Salah there, so he get like direct assists there. So that is why I'll say that if you're talking about the build up play, I think that Ellison is more involved. So I'll go with Ellison Becker here.
Do you know what? So it's 1-1, obviously. So it's down to me. I would have to go for Allison as well. The reason being, I think he's a better shot stopper, as IndyCop said. No disrespect to Edison. I think Allison is a superior shot stopper. And when it comes to 1v1, we all know what Kai Havertz did, ladies and gentlemen, to Edison in the Champions League final, 1v1. So I don't want that kind of keeper. I do not want that kind of keeper that can't, stop that kind of stuff. But no, I mean, look, Allison for me is probably slightly edges it. As I said, no disrespect to Edison. So we're going to go with Allison. Hopefully, I'm spelling this right. Is this right? Is it double L or double S?
It's not double L. This is the correct spelling.
That's the correct spelling. Ali
Yeah.
double S O N.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That should
All
be
right.
the correct spelling. Yeah.
I mean, even if it's not correct, stuff you guys, whoever watching it, man. We're not doing some spelling checks here. It is what it is. Okay. I'm now going to go with the right back, and then we'll see what IndyCop has to say, and then we'll give Ishan the final shot on it. Right back for me, two choice, obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold or Kyle Walker. I don't think there's any other permutations there. Or maybe João Cancelo. But João Cancelo can play on the left as well, but maybe on the right
Let's
too.
consider him on the left. Yeah.
Let's consider him on the left. But then left has some big competition there as well. Maybe we can consider João Cancelo on the right too. But for me, I think I'm going to have to go with Trent Alexander-Arnold purely because of his playmaking abilities. Yes, people are going to say, but Miz, what's going to happen with defense? But the two CBs that I'm going to talk about should be able to take care of those defensive situations, and obviously the DM, the holding midfielder. So for me, it's Trent Alexander-Arnold because of his superior ball playing skills, which is going to be much needed. I feel like he should be in the combined 11. IndyCop, for you, right back.
Hands down, Trent Alexander Arnold. It has to be him because I'll tell you, the way Klopp plays, that's the creative playmaker we are talking about, and he's a
Yeah.
fullback, and the number of assists he provides, and the corners, the anything,
The
free kicks,
free
talk about that.
kicks. Yeah.
Absolutely, the crosses, the diagonal balls, and even in this Benfica match, he gave like such a good cross. And how did he do that? I don't understand. It's not just about that one point, but other points as well. And yes, he gets exposed a little, but you're talking about somebody who is the, like I mentioned, creative playmaker from right hand side, and at the end he's starting from the back and just moving forward and doing something with it. Yes, he will get exposed just because of the play Liverpool has. If you're talking about Trent as a defender, that is the role that he'll get, and that is it, nothing else. He just doesn't have to do anything. He will be a very good defender then, but that is not our gameplay. It
Yeah.
has to start with the fullbacks, and we go with that. Yes, now you'll see that he's moving a lot inward in the game. Otherwise, he used to be more on the flanks,
He's
but
more
now he's
moving
moving.
in as a center attacking midfielder. He's more like as a cam, really.
Exactly, he's moving, and even Robertson. Otherwise, both of them used to be on the flanks. They used to stretch the game a lot, but now that's not happening. Now both of them are going inwards, and you'll see that Robertson is actually not going till the byline. Otherwise, he used to do that and then give a cross. But now he stays behind because now I'm liking that because it was just so predictable what Liverpool is going to do. But now there is some curiosity that we can do something different, and that's what is happening with Trent. And now I feel that he's much better defensively too. So I was just checking his record and stats as well. That number of goals that led to that led to goals because of his errors, individual mistakes, and that was
Yeah.
zero. Yes, sometimes it's visible a lot that he's not a good defender because there's a narrative set like that. Yes, he'll be exposed a lot because he's just so much away from his position where he should
Yeah.
be. And that is why, and every player of Klopp has to defend, every player. So that is what Sadio Mane will have to defend. Mohamed Salah will have to track back and defend. It's not that they can just be there in the position and something will happen. So that is why that depends a lot who is going to be in the midfield, who can just help that out. So I'm going to go with Trent there.
No, very well said, Indy Cop. Ishan, you already got two Trent Alexander-Arnold votes here. I mean, are you doing anything different? Just I suppose wanting to hear your opinion on it.
And I will have to put Trent. I think so. He's been phenomenal for Liverpool. Yes, we know the flaws, but then we know that those flaws are covered well as well by the
Yeah.
centre backs of Liverpool. So as far as Liverpool are performing great, with Trent being one of the prime, prime player to create, I think so. Trent has to be on this list.
Indy Cop, will now shift all the way to the left side. Who's your player for the left side in the combined 11?
I'll go with Cancelo here. Even though I know
I
how
like how
good
you're not biased. I really enjoy the fact that you're not biased. I was thinking maybe she's going to say Robertson, but I'm glad you said Cancelo.
No, it's just that he is phenomenal. He's a player who can play in any position, such a versatile one. And if you're talking about the stats as well, I think Cancelo is so good defensively that I
Yeah.
wouldn't need to worry about it at all. Yes, if you're talking about Robertson and maybe Simicas, let's not put Simicas here because hasn't played as much. But
Yeah.
if you're talking about Robertson and Cancelo here, yes, because his role is completely different in Jurgen Klopp's team. That is, they have to move forward, like I mentioned before. But if we are talking about a fullback, and I think that it has to be Cancelo here because not only that he can give you assists, but he's a very very good defender, and I seriously like the guy.
And this season, Cancelo probably up there with Trent
Phenomenal.
Alexander. Yeah, phenomenal. Up there with Trent Alexander-Arnold. For me, it's Cancelo as well. Ishan, Cancelo for you as well?
100%. This guy for me, I don't know why you said up there because seriously, this season I believe he's the best fullback in the Premier League.
He probably
Nobody
is.
comes near
Yeah.
him. The way he's been bombing forward, it's really difficult to determine whether whenever he has the ball in his foot. It's really difficult to determine whether he's a winger or a defender or a midfielder. He's got everything.
True.
He's got the dribbling
True.
abilities, the defensive abilities. Man sweeps like Kurt Zuma. Has a shot like Kevin De Bruyne. That man dribbles
Yeah.
like Jack Grealish. He's got every single thing. He's done so good in dribbling wise that Man City don't even need to play a Jack Grealish. That's how good Cancelo has been, and
Absolutely,
especially on the left hand side.
absolutely.
True.
He's
Absolutely
been
well said,
massive.
Ishan. Absolutely well said. Two CBs. We'll go with two together. We'll start with Ishan on this one. Ishan, who's your two CBs? Combined 11?
Hey, these
Best
two
this season.
CBs are probably the two best centre backs in the Premier League. Are probably definitely the two best centre backs in world football currently. I'll go with Ruben Diaz and I'll go with Virgil van Dijk.
Virgil
No
van Dijk
questions
for
asked.
sure. Do you think Ruben Diaz has been very good this season though? Has he been injured
I
as
mean,
well?
yes,
or-
he has been injured. If you compare the stats from the last season, you might not say that he's better that last season, but then still, whenever that guy plays, I see that reliability of the whole team on him. Definitely, Laporte has
Captain
played
of Man City as well now, right, Ishan? He's the
Yeah, he
captain
is.
of
He
Man
is
City.
definitely. Yeah, and whenever you'd see, I mean, Laporte, John Stones, these guys also had a very good shift when Ruben Diaz was not here. But then Laporte also scored a few goals when Ruben Diaz was not playing. But then whenever you see a Ruben Diaz, just like the way the whole team is dependent. Liverpool's team is dependent on Virgil van Dijk. There's a different charm in the team when Van Dijk's playing. Similarly, I see that when Ruben Diaz is playing for Man City, the whole team can depend on him when it comes to defense. Yes, few bad games here and there, but then definitely I still put him in the as one of the best centre backs in this Premier League.
For me as well, I think Ruben Diaz and Virgil van Dijk as well. Even though Ruben Diaz has been injured a bit, but he's the standout defender for Man City. He's been, a rock for Pep Guardiola, and he's even more success, I suppose, what he's had. So for me as well, Virgil van Dijk and Ruben Diaz. In the cup for you, the two CBs. Any of the other Liverpool players get into it? I mean, Joel Matip has had a very decent season as well.
When you're talking about centre backs, definitely we have to talk about Matip, and I'm not saying that let's compare him with Ruben Diaz or something, but just a mention for Matip, how incredible he has been.
Yeah.
Sometimes you would have seen that there is
That's
this
true.
fairyland, and he just strides through it and just dribbles past and try and get a goal. He moves still like forward, but okay, I know that's not the work that he has to do, but he has been phenomenal. I will definitely say this has been by far one of the best seasons that Matip has had, and
100%.
alongside Virgil van Dijk. And when you see somebody alongside Virgil van Dijk, you tend to think that Van Dijk is going to steal the limelight there, but that hasn't happened because
He's been able to
Matip
match
has.
it. Yeah.
Absolutely. He has been rock solid, and whenever they both play together, it's very difficult for anybody to cross that defense to, be one on one with the keeper. A special mention to Matip, but also I feel that since we are talking about the centre backs, and we will consider the form of this season, that's why yes, Diaz is one of the best centre backs out there. But just because he hasn't played a lot this season and hasn't been as good as he was the previous one, he was really really good in the previous season. That's why I was shifting toward Laporte. I thought that maybe we can give him a chance because has played a lot and scored goals and has been really really good, and gives a very good partnership to Diaz on the right hand side there. But if you both are going for Diaz and Virgil van Dijk, so I think we can go for that. Otherwise, my vote was to Virgil van Dijk and Laporte.
I think Virgil van Dijk, let's lock him in. Laporte is the other thing I like about Laporte being in the combined 11 is Laporte's left-footed as well, right? So it would really complement this whole situation. Van Dijk being right-footed, Laporte being left-footed. Ishan, I'll leave it to you. I mean, does Laporte get a shout in? Let me have a quick look at these stats, man. Meanwhile, let me know, does Laporte actually have a chance to squeeze into this combined 11 instead of Diaz?
Well, let's maybe get the stats out and then you can compare and maybe put one of
I think
those
he had
names.
almost 3 goals and had played like 23, 24 games. That's what I remember. And yes, more than Diaz. Diaz has been really good, but then I think this was Laporte's really good season. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Laporte, I
this
think so.
season.
He's given me a hell lot of points in my FPL, so I'm very happy with Laporte.
That's the best way. That's the best way to figure it out. Like, who's given the most points in Fantasy
Yeah.
Premier League? This is Laporte, 2021 season, 25 matches played, 3 goals as well. But I guess it's the the clean sheets and whatnot. In the Champions League, he's played a lot of matches. Lost against PSG. 5-1 against Bruges, 4-1. One against, that was in the bench. In the Premier League, yeah, he's been playing a lot, man. He's generally one of the main starters, and there looks like there's quite a lot of clean sheets as well.
1 second, can I just like put my battery on? Can you give me like 10 seconds?
Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, I just want to have a quick look at Ruben Diaz. Quickly check this out. Wow, Ruben Diaz is only 24. My God. I thought he's older than that. He's young as. Let's have a look at his current season. Oh, he's played 25 games as well. He's assisted 3. 2 goals, 2 assists, but I guess we need defensive stats here. And transfer news just doesn't have defensive stats. Let's stick with Ruben Diaz for this one. I guess at the end of the day, probably both on par. So we'll stick with that. Ishan, we'll go with defensive midfielder. By the way, IndyCop, we're sticking with Ruben Diaz. More or less seems like, I don't have the defensive stats with me. But they both pretty much started similar amount of games as well, 25 games. It looked like Ruben Diaz had 3 assists as well, 3 assists, 2 goals, along with all the plethora of clean sheets that was going on for Man City. So we'll stick with Ruben Diaz. Holding midfielder.
Miz, did you share your screen? I don't think so. You did.
Oh yeah. Why am I not sharing my screen? Silly me. Holding midfielder. We'll start with IndyCop. Who's going to be your holding midfielder? This is going to be an interesting one. I don't think it's straightforward, but I have my selection ready.
And let's start with you then. Who is it going to be for you?
I think it's going to have to be Rodri. I think Rodri's had a phenomenal season. His efforts from that position, his passing ability, his physicality, his ability to score goals, his ability to assist, his ability to track back, his ability to press, counter press, the lot. I know a lot of people can say Fabinho, but I think the fact that he arrives in the box and scores goals as well every now and then, key goals. I remember last one was against Arsenal. Recently he scored one as well. Fabinho is a very good player, but for me, Rodri just another level above. So for me, Rodri. For you, IndyCop?
Again, it's a very, very tough choice since we're talking about really, really good CDMs out there. But
Yeah.
I know the importance of Fabinho in the team. Yes, Rodri has been brilliant. We're talking about one of the best teams out there. So let's just not say that he is brilliant or this one is brilliant, because all of
They're
them have
both
been very,
brilliant.
very good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Rodri, Rodri makes a very, very good case. But if you're talking about Fabinho, and I know how important he is for the squad, he's like irreplaceable and has been one of the best CDMs that I have seen playing for Liverpool. And he's got like 5 goals this season, Fabinho, and
Okay.
he's the first line of defense for us. And I know how difficult it is for anyone to go through, and Fabinho moves so higher up in the pitch and makes those interceptions and moves ahead with it, and then is so solid as a CDM that I would tilt towards Fabinho. But like I said, that Rodri has been exceptionally good as well. So that's why what I would like to do is I'll give them 45 minutes each.
Maybe they'll both be in the lineup here,
Yeah.
because we can have one on the background as well. Ishan, I've gone with Rodri. IndyCop more or less gone for Fabinho, but at the end of the day, 45 minutes each. Who are you going with?
No, I think so. I'll have to go with Rodri as well. He's been phenomenal this season. Let's not get carried away. Fabinho has been a massive player for Liverpool. We don't see a player like Fabinho. He's one of a kind. But Rodri this season, will have to especially look into the performance of this season. And Rodri has been phenomenal. His goals, his assists, the way he's binded the defense and midfield, it's been phenomenal. And I don't think so we can look past that. Yes, if you talk about as an overall, maybe all time, then you can put up a Fabinho. But then this season, it has to be Rodri.
Nah, fair point, man. We'll stick with Rodri. As much as I want to give IndyCop the 45 minutes each, we'll go with Rodri. I'll go with Ishan on this one. We're not going to touch the midfielders, the 2 midfielders. We're going to keep it open for the time being. The front 3, Ishan. Between the 2 teams, this particular season, combined 11, who is your front 3 players, the 3 up front?
Can we put up Mohamed Salah as a default player even before we mention him?
I think he'll be a default, but the question is,
just put that
where will we put him? Because I think I want to put him here in the middle.
Nah, really in the middle? No, I think so. Listen, I
because
know where you're coming from, Miss, and I
because
know
I want
that
to
if
fit in
we,
other players. I want to fit in some other players as well.
yeah, I know that. I understand that. Because if we fit in a Salah there, I don't think so. Any of the Man City players fit in any position,
They
right?
don't. They don't. Because if I put
Exactly.
Salah here, then I can't fit in.
You
Mahrez.
know, the
Do you
way,
know what I
Miss,
mean?
I'll be honest with you, the way I'm picturizing this, I think so. If I go with my way of visualizing the combined 11, I can see a full front three of Liverpool and a full
And
midfield
full
three of Man
midfield
City.
of Man City. I agree. I
I
agree.
was trying to get away from that. I was trying to squeeze Sterling in somehow in the front three because Sterling has been pretty good in recent times. Um, and if we think about it in the sense that the front three could be fluid, they could literally go this way, that way, this way. Oh well, we can never expect Mo Salah to be over there, but if we expect it to be fluid, then anything is possible. But, okay, Ishan, you give me your front three, and then we'll figure it, and then I'll hear what Indie Cop has to say, and then I'll come up with my one. What's your front three?
Uh, Listen, for me, like I said, it has to be all three Liverpool players, and you know at whom I'm gonna put it. But you
Salah,
tell me, if
Mane.
you want me to put in a Salah in the middle, then there has to be someone else on the right hand side. So how are we
Okay,
gonna go about it?
you hold your thought. Indie Cop, who's your front three?
I think I agree with Ishan on this one that I feel the midfield of Man City has been phenomenal in KDB
Hmm.
and Bernardo Silva. You know, they have had like those creative, they are the creative ultras in the team, and I
Yeah.
feel scared of them. You know, going in this match, to be honest, they are the players that scare me the most. That midfield scares me the most because I know how good KDB and Bernardo Silva have been. So
Hmm.
that is why I'm going to go for the front three of Liverpool because yes, otherwise it's always used to be Man City dominating the stats of scoring goals, assisting goals, and
Yeah.
everything out there. But if there is one thing that Liverpool has done this season is we have the most number of assists, we have the most number of
Good point.
goal
Good
scorers
point.
out there. You know, there is Jota there. You know, he'll not do anything. It might not seem very pretty that he's not doing anything. Arey, what is he doing and all? But when
Nah, Jota
you
deserves
need
to
the
be here.
goals,
Jota
exactly,
deserves to
when
be here.
absolutely, whenever you know you'll make the ball and he will convert, he will
Hmm.
definitely do that. His positioning is brilliant and has scored like 4 goals, header, then
Big
some
goals
from
as
left foot,
well. Some
then
big
some
goals.
from header, some from left foot, some from right foot. So he has done from every part of body, you know, he has scored goals.
Yeah,
That's
that
what
man
Jota has
scores
done.
headers as if he's Ronaldo's brother or something. That man
I don't
leaps
know.
high.
It's not like he's a
Absolutely.
tall
So
player either. He's not tall. Like he's
Yeah,
he's
just
so
exactly, right?
short. He's very
yeah.
very short. I don't know how he's scoring
It's
headers, you
good
know,
positioning. It's a very good positioning. Yeah.
absolutely.
Good
So
positioning and
that's why
intelligence as well. I think
Yeah.
so. He'll have to be
hmm,
Yeah.
massively intelligent. Yeah.
Jota is having one of the best seasons out there. You know, Salah is the top scorer, and then Sadio Mane. Yes, people debate on that hasn't had a good season, but he is on the top scorers out there. So that's
He
why
is. Yeah.
my front three is going to be Salah, Jota, and Mane.
I think you have convinced me because as much as I want to somehow squeeze in maybe Sterling, um, but at the end of the day, the more potent front three has been Salah. We'll go with Jota.
Miss,
We'll
if
go with
even if
Mane.
you want to squeeze in a Sterling, which I think would be injustice, you can't squeeze a Liverpool midfielder amidst of De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva. You know what I mean? That would be kind of
True.
injustice.
True.
So that'll bring it up a huge imbalance into the team. So I think so. This is a better option where we go with the front three of Liverpool and mid three of Man City.
True. So shall we just lock this in?
Actually,
KDB.
you what you can do is that put Rodri on the a little left hand side, and then player seven can be KDB on the front, you know, as a central midfielder, and then right should be Bernardo Silva.
You mean you want like a
Yes,
double
KDB here.
pivot?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
KDB
Bernardo
here.
Silva.
KDB here.
No, KDB is going to be the Rodri here, and then Bernardo Silva is going to be on the right hand side.
Tell me, is it a double pivot? Are you talking
Yeah,
about? Okay.
yes, this is how usually, you know, if you're putting both of them in KDB and Bernardo Silva, this is usually they line up as because both of them are stronger on the right foot. So yeah,
So
usually they
you're
go like this.
like this, yeah?
No, KDB should be in place of Bernardo Silva.
Okay, so you're saying KDB as a cam.
Yeah.
over here.
What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's at the end of the day, Rodri is going to be operating in these areas, and then he's going to look to drive sort of in
Hmm.
these channels whenever he can. And these two really, it's going to be like this, more or less. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
So ultimately, I mean, these are eights. Like KDB and Bernardo Silva, they can play as eights, and Rodri can play as a six,
CDM,
and
yeah.
then Salah and Jota. I mean, Ishan, you happy with that midfield as well? Yeah.
Of course, and that's another point I was about to add is it's not that we are on purposely balancing the whole equation by putting up half of Man City players and half of Liverpool players in our whole playing 11, but then it's just that the players who are better in the position are the best players, and we
Yeah.
cannot forcefully bring up some other and cook up things and put up some other names on it. So this is the best, probably the best playing 11, and
I,
also
I
the players who represent in their position, they're the best at it.
I don't think we can argue, to be honest. Like when you
Yeah.
think about the front three, the argument will be so minuscule, like picking on little things here and there. The front three
Yeah.
has been immense this season. Like, who are the top three goal scorers in the Premier League? I'm pretty sure it's Salah, Mane, Jota. I could be wrong. I don't know. Obviously, there's Harry Kane and whatnot, but yeah, these three are very potent, and obviously the midfield is. You would have to agree, Man City's midfield would trump Liverpool's midfield, and that is no disrespect to Liverpool's midfield because Liverpool looks for more, threat, as we
Miz,
said, from.
Thiago has
yeah, sorry,
Thiago has
you go
started,
for it.
like Thiago has been in the, like, has started, with the way that we used to see him
Yep,
play for Bayern Munich, and has
yep.
had like really good 3 or 4 games. But that is
Mm,
it. Now he has had like the games of the season now. Had he
yep.
been doing that from the start, just because of the injuries or maybe COVID and things like that, he couldn't be available for the
Then
entire
he'd
time for
be
us. But
then he'd be in shot for this. Yeah.
exactly. And then Henderson has is a very, very important part of this puzzle that the Liverpool team
Mm-hmm.
is. But then if we are comparing them here with these players, then obviously they get a big shout out here. But then I just had to talk about Henderson and how good Thiago have been for us.
No, you're right. Thiago Silva, Thiago Alcantara has been immense. Honestly, he has been immense. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our combined 11. Allison in goalkeeping position, Cancelo, Diaz, Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Nice mix there of Man City and Liverpool players, and not just as Ishan said, we're not trying to just make it 50-50. I think they are genuinely the players that need to be there. Rodri, KDB, Silva, Salah, Jota, Mane. You let me know what your thoughts are, ladies and gentlemen, with the combined 11. Anything that you agree, disagree, please comment below. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us till the end of this show. But before we go, obviously, we have to ask IndyCop your match prediction, score prediction, moving into this particular match.
I would love to win this one. I would seriously love to win this one. But let's be practical. I mean, we are facing one of the toughest sides out there, and it's going to be a difficult one. It's going to be an interesting one. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this game. I
Oh,
think that would be the best
wow.
result right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, that might be an okay result for you guys because it's not like, because whoever loses, I feel like that's it. It's done. If anyone loses here, it is probably done. But if it's
But
a
actually,
draw, then
Man City has pretty like the fixtures that they're not going to lose now. Liverpool has like harder fixtures than Man City, so which is why I feel that it is very important for us to either get a draw or get all 3 points in this one, rather than creating a 4 point gap here, especially at this stage. This
no,
stage.
no, 100%. Look, yeah, whatever the case is, it's going to be an epic game. And yeah, from your perspective, I think you're right. If you guys can get a draw out of this, um, you can build up something. But I really think Jurgen Klopp's going to go for it because Jurgen Klopp will realize that a win here and that's it. Like you're in the driving seat, pretty much. And
And like Bernardo Silva said, it's better to be in our position than in Liverpool. So, there are
ex-
those tantrums going on from both ends. So that's why it's going to be interesting.
exactly. Ishan, my boy, score prediction.
Look, this is the season finale. This is the game of the season. Everybody is excited about this, and I'm pumped up about this. I don't want to watch Chelsea versus Southampton. I want to watch Liverpool versus Man City. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is gonna be a crunch game. Definitely for Liverpool, a must win, because if a draw from here, Liverpool would rely on other teams to beat Man City, and that's how they're gonna cross Man City. But then, as far as this game is concerned, I think so. Liverpool should. I want Liverpool to win it. I'm predicting a 2-1 Liverpool win.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, to be honest, I don't know who I want to win. At one stage, I thought maybe I want City to win, and because I get so annoyed with the Liverpool fan base, they're just so cocky. But IndyCop has been amazing, starting to make me think that there are some good Liverpool fans out there, and we shouldn't just get caught up with what we see in Twitter. And then there's the other side where I'm like, I don't want Man City to win another league. Like, these guys are just winning they're just creating a legacy now. It's got to be stopped. So there is that point. Look, at the end of the day, it hurts that Chelsea is not there. That's all I'm going to say, ladies. Like, we should be in the mix. But if I was to go with a score prediction, I think I'm going with a 2-2 draw here. I think I'm going with a 2-2 draw. It's going to be an exciting game. 2-2 draw. Maybe a comeback. Maybe Liverpool goes on a 2-0 win. 2-0 lead, and then City comes back to make it 2-2, which is going to be heartbreak for IndyCop. It's going to be very difficult to see her team, get clawed back like that. But I feel like that's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what the crazy part is? We actually thought we were going to speak for about 20, 25 minutes, but we've gone for an hour and 10 minutes, which is quite crazy. So whatever we budgeted for, we've gone well over the mark. But this is what you get when you have a quality guest like IndyCop. What I'm going to suggest each and every one of you guys that are watching this, please make sure you not only follow her in all her socials, which will be in the description. This is her channel, ladies and gentlemen, IndyClop. It's, as you can see, fantastic channel, whole heap of stuff there. I might have to subscribe. Today's the first time I've gone there. There you go. You found yourself a new subscriber. Ladies and gentlemen, the link will be in the description. Before we go, any final thoughts, IndyCop? I'll let you have the final say in this particular situation.
I really had so much fun. Like I mentioned, I spoke with Ishan, and he said that it's going to be like a 25 to 30 minute thing, and I'm like, all right. But now, and you know
I'm
what?
really
I'm just so
sorry.
happy that no, that doesn't matter. The thing is, I had so much fun talking about it, with you both. Seriously, not even once that I felt that it's crossed the mark for me, because it was seriously very, very nice to talk to you both here. And to be honest, I'm happy that I gave you the 5 o'clock time, because otherwise, because if I had given it like to think of that 20-25 minute, then I would have to leave very early because I have another podcast. But then I'm really happy that I could like spare the enough time, and we could do this. It was so much fun to get to know both of you and your whatever you thought of Liverpool and Man City and the fixture, because it gives me another perspective that what neutrals are thinking on this fixture. So that was really
That's
fun to
brilliant.
talk to you guys about it.
That's brilliant. I just love the fact that we've got some female presence as well. So well spoken, so well sort of thought, and your knowledge about Liverpool, football club, and not just Liverpool, knowledge about football in itself. Fantastic to see. And I can't wait to have you back again, IndyCop. As I said, when Chelsea meets Liverpool, I think you're going to be the prime guest. And any sort of big blockbuster games that are coming up down the track, we'll definitely have you on, in terms of Liverpool point of view. Ishan, my boy, I have to thank you for reaching out to IndyCop. I mean, final thoughts, bro?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great. Thank you, IndyCop, for joining. It's been a bright spark of light. A new coin, Miz, as we like
New
to say,
coin.
a fresh coin added to the coin gang. So yeah, it's been brilliant. It's been brilliant to chat, and yeah, even I did not feel that it was about to be 30, and when we crossed the 40-minute mark, I was like, all right, we've done the double. Now what? But then it was such a pleasure, such a pleasure.
We've almost now done the triple. We're going for the triple, but this is where we're going to stop. This is where we're going to have to stop.
It's been quality. It's been quality, man. Learned a lot of things from IndyCop, and it's been amazing. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a fantastic conversation, honestly. It's been like as if mates sitting in a coffee place and just having a conversation, really. It's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Big match. We've built it up as much as we can. And if you've enjoyed it, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. And make sure you follow IndieCop, subscribe to her channel. The links of all her socials will be in the description. Make sure you follow Ishan, my boy, Ishan Badra. His link for his Instagram is in the description as well. Make sure you follow. And yeah, there's going to be a whole heap of exciting content coming your way. Until next time, everyone, take care and see you.
All right.